Imagine this. You're in a heated argument, words flying like arrows, each one aimed to defend your position, to justify your choices. But the more you speak, the more you feel your power slipping away, like sand through your fingers. You've been there, haven't you? That moment when explanations turn into excuses and your voice, once strong, starts to echo with desperation. What if I told you that the ancient Stoics, those unbreakable philosophers who faced emperors, exiles, and empires crumbling around them, had a secret weapon against this? Not a sword, not a shield, but something far more potent: silence. Welcome back to LABE Stoic, the channel where we dive deep into the timeless wisdom of Stoicism to build unbreakable resilience in our chaotic modern world. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're on a journey to reclaim our inner fortress, one Stoic principle at a time. Today, we're exploring a topic that's not just philosophical, but profoundly practical. Stop explaining yourself. Silence is how Stoics reclaim power. In a world obsessed with oversharing, viral rants, and endless debates on social media, we'll uncover how embracing silence isn't weakness. It's the ultimate act of self-mastery. We'll draw from the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, blending their ancient insights with today's trends like silent magnetism, that enigmatic pull of those who say less and command more. Let's start by setting the stage. Picture a bustling city street in ancient Rome. The forums are alive, with orators shouting their truths, politicians weaving webs of words to sway the masses. Amid this noise stands a Stoic sage, perhaps Epictetus, the former slave turned philosopher, who knew the sting of injustice firsthand. When accused or challenged, he didn't rush to defend himself with torrents of explanation. Instead, he chose silence, a deliberate pause that spoke volumes. Why? Because he understood a core Stoic truth. What we control is not the world's perception of us, but our response to it. As Epictetus himself said in his Enchiridion, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In that silence, he reclaimed his power, turning potential vulnerability into unassailable strength. Fast forward to today, in our hyper-connected era, where every thought can be tweeted in seconds and every disagreement spirals into online battles, we're drowning in explanations. Think about it. Have you ever posted a story on Instagram, only to face a barrage of comments questioning your choices? Or sat in a meeting where a colleague criticizes your idea and you feel compelled to justify every detail? The instinct is natural. We want to be understood, to set the record straight. But here's the harsh reality. The more we explain, the more we dilute our value. It's like overwatering a plant. What starts as nurture ends in rot. Studies in psychology back this up. Research from social psychologists shows that excessive justification can signal insecurity, making others perceive us as less confident or competent. But Stoicism offers a better path: silence as a strategic choice, not a surrender. This is where silent magnetism comes in, a trend that's exploding across platforms like TikTok and LinkedIn. It's that aura of mystery and poise exuded by figures who don't overshare. Think of icons like Keanu Reeves, whose quiet demeanor draws people in without a word, or historical leaders like Abraham Lincoln, who often paused thoughtfully before responding, letting his silence build anticipation and authority. In Stoic terms, this magnetism isn't superficial, it's rooted in virtue. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who journaled his meditations amid wars and plagues, reminded himself, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. B1. Silence allows us to embody that goodness without the noise of defense. But why does silence hold such power? Let's break it down. First, it preserves your energy. In a world bombarding us with notifications and demands, every unnecessary word drains your mental reserves. Stoics viewed life as a finite resource. Seneca, in his letters, urged us to treat time like a precious commodity. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. By not explaining yourself endlessly, you redirect that energy inward towards self-improvement and meaningful action. Imagine redirecting the hours spent in fruitless debates toward reading, exercising, or pursuing your passions. That's the Stoic upgrade, from reactive explainer to proactive creator. Second, silence fosters clarity. When we rush to explain, our words often muddle the message, revealing more about our fears than our facts. In contrast, silence gives space for reflection. Epictetus taught that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, to listen twice as much as we speak. In that quiet, we discern what's truly worth responding to. Is this criticism valid, or just noise? Does this person deserve my explanation, or is my life proof enough? This discernment is the essence of Stoic wisdom, focusing on what's within our control, our judgments, and letting go of the rest. Third, and perhaps most powerfully, silence commands respect. In negotiations, therapy sessions, or even casual conversations, the one who speaks less often holds the upper hand. It's a principle echoed in modern leadership books, but Stoics nailed it centuries ago. Seneca wrote, "Speech is the mirror of the soul. As a man speaks, so is he." But what about when he doesn't speak? Silence becomes a mirror for others, forcing them to confront their own assumptions. It creates silent magnetism, that pull where people lean in, curious about the depths you haven't revealed. In viral terms, it's why clips of Stoic characters in movies like The Godfather or modern influencers practicing quiet luxury rack up millions of views. They don't explain. They exist with quiet confidence, drawing admirers like moths to a flame. Of course, embracing silence isn't easy. Our society equates verbosity with intelligence. Think TED Talks, podcasts, endless Zoom calls. But Stoicism challenges this. True wisdom is knowing when to hold back. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." Silence demande discipline, a willingness to endure misunderstanding without crumbling. It's not about being mute, it's about purposeful restraint. In the sections ahead, we'll dive deeper, exploring situations where speaking diminishes your value, reframing silence as a bold choice, and practical Stoic techniques to harness the stillness for self-clarity without justification. If this resonates, pause for a moment, right now, and reflect. When was the last time you chose silence over explanation? How did it feel? Empowering, liberating. That's the Stoic spark we're igniting today. Stick around as we unpack this further, because reclaiming your power through silence could be the game changer you've been seeking. Remember, in the words of Epictetus, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Let's learn to listen to ourselves. First and foremost, now that we've laid the groundwork for why silence is a Stoic superpower, let's dive deeper. In this section, we explore those moments where speaking too much erodes your value. It's a trap we all stumble into, the urge to explain, defend, or justify. But as Stoics teach, every unnecessary word weakens your inner fortress. We'll unpack real-life scenarios, draw from ancient wisdom, and show how recognizing these situations can transform your life. The goal isn't to stay silent out of fear, but to speak only when it aligns with your purpose. Let's break it down. Picture this. You're at work, and a coworker calls your project unrealistic in a team meeting. All eyes turn to you. The instinct kicks in, but I considered every angle. Or, you don't get the full context. Before you know it, you're rambling, defending every choice like a lawyer pleading a case. Here's the Stoic truth. The more you explain, the weaker you seem. Epictetus, who endured slavery and exile, knew this well. In his discourses, he advises, "If anyone speaks ill of you, do not make excuses, but reply, 'He was ignorant of my other faults.' Else, he would have mentioned those too." Notice the power. Instead of spilling defenses, Epictetus flips the script with minimal words. Or better yet, silence. Why does over-explaining hurt? It signals that the critic's opinion controls your self-worth. You're handing them your power. In today's terms, it's like feeding an online troll. Each response fuels their fire, making you seem desperate for validation. Think about social media. You post about a career change, and comments roll in. That's a bad move. Or why would you do that? If you dive into replies, justifying every decision, you're begging for approval from strangers. Behavioral psychology, like studies on impression management, shows excessive justification signals. Insecurity. People respect those who stand firm without apology. Marcus Aurelius put it best in his Meditations. I often wonder how every man loves himself more than others, yet values his own opinion less than theirs. By refusing to over-explain, you affirm your worth internally, letting actions speak louder. Now, consider arguments in relationships, whether with a partner, friend, or family member. Things escalate when we over-explain. Imagine your spouse questions why you forgot an anniversary. You launch into excuses, work stress, forgotten alerts, traffic. Each word digs a deeper hole, turning a mistake into a battle of egos. Seneca, in his essay on anger, offers wisdom. The best cure for anger is delay. Silence isn't avoidance. It's a pause to regain control. Over-explaining reveals insecurity. Shifting power to the other person, a quiet response. "He messed up. I'll make it right," preserves dignity and focuses on solutions. Our community shares stories that prove this. One subscriber described arguing endlessly with his boss over feedback, explaining every perceived slight. It made him seem defensive and unreliable. After adopting Stoic silence, he switched to brief replies. "Noted, I'll adjust." Promotions followed. Why? It projected quiet strength, not frantic justification. This is silent magnetism. People are drawn to those who don't waste words. Sensing an unshakable core, let's turn to professional settings, like negotiations or pitches. You're presenting to investors, and they question risks. If you rattle off every contingency plan, you seem anxious or unprepared. The more you talk, the more doubts you invite. Stoicism teaches economy of speech. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it in negotiations. Let preparation shine through poise, not verbosity." A Harvard Business Review study found that those who speak less and listen more close deals 20% more often. Silence lets the other side reveal their hand, while your quiet confidence builds intrigue. Job interviews are another high-stakes example. Asked about a resume gap, you might narrate every detail. "I was traveling, then had family issues, and tried freelancing." It sounds like excuses. A Stoic response. Concise. I took time for personal growth and skill building. Then, stop. Let them ask for more. This restraint signals maturity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Let your deeds be your example." Your unexplained poise draws opportunities like a magnet. Then there's gossip or rumors. Whispers at work or among friends. "I heard you did this." Tempt you to clarify or deny. But explaining fuels the fire, making rumors seem credible. Seneca advised in his letters to Lucilius, "Despise slander rather than fear it. Silence starves. Gossip. By not engaging, you rise above, letting your character dispel the noise." In today's cancel culture, this is powerful. Think of figures who weather storms quietly, emerging stronger with that enigmatic allure. Even casual debates can drain you. At a dinner party, someone challenges your views on politics or lifestyle. You could cite sources and anecdotes, but it often becomes a shouting match, diminishing respect. Stoics saw debate as a tool for truth, not ego. Epictetus urged, "If you wish to improve, be content to appear foolish." Silence. When words won't change, minds preserves your peace and elevates your presence. Trends like quiet quitting echo this, setting boundaries without explanation. Finally, consider internal over-explaining. When you mess up, do you mentally justify it? "It wasn't my fault," because this chatter erodes self-respect. Stoicism demands honest reflection without excuses. Journal like Marcus Aurelius. Face facts silently, then act. Quieting your inner explainer builds true resilience. The pattern is clear. Overspeaking stems from fear of misunderstanding, rejection, or failure. Seneca reminds us, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Choose silence, and you reclaim power. It's not passive, it's active mastery. Here are 5 red flags you're about to over-explain. 1. Your heart races, and words spill defensively. Pause. Breathe. Ask if responding adds value. 2. They're not listening, just waiting to counter. Silence disarms them. 3. You're repeating yourself. If it's not landing, more words won't help. 4. It's about ego, not truth. Are you convincing them or yourself? 5. The stakes are low. Not every comment deserves your energy. Spot these, and you train the Stoic muscle of restraint. Imagine the freedom. No more exhaustion from debates. No more regret or blurted defenses. Just quiet confidence that commands respect. The Stoics lived this. Epictetus, lame and enslaved, didn't justify his hardships. He taught through example. Seneca faced execution silently. His life, the ultimate testimony. Marcus Aurelius journaled privately, not publicly defending his rule. Apply this today to build silent magnetism. Be the colleague who speaks sparingly in meetings, the friend who listens more, the online presence that posts thoughtfully. Virality follows authenticity, not verbosity. Reflect. Which situation hits home? Commit to choosing silence next time. Feel the shift, from reactive to regal. Stoicism isn't about silencing your voice. It's about amplifying it through restraint. Next, we'll reframe silence as a bold choice, not weakness. Stay tuned. Your Stoic journey is gaining momentum. Having dismantled the pitfalls of over-explaining in our last section, it's time to reframe the narrative. Silence isn't a sign of weakness. Far from it. In the Stoic tradition, it's a deliberate choice, a weapon of the wise that asserts control and inner strength. This section will shatter the myths around silence. We'll show how it's not passive retreat, but active empowerment, drawing from the lives and words of Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius. We'll blend their timeless lessons with modern applications. By the end, you'll see silence, not as absence, but as presence, a bold declaration of self-mastery that amplifies your power in a noisy world. Let's explore this step by step. Ignite that stoic fire within. First, confront the misconception head-on. Society often equates silence with frailty. In a culture celebrating loud voices, charismatic TED speakers, outspoken influencers, dominant boardroom personalities, staying quiet can feel like conceding defeat. But Stoicism flips this script. Epictetus, born into slavery and later banished by Emperor Domitian, faced constant adversity. Yet he taught, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Applied to speech, this means true strength lies in restraint, not excess. Silence isn't weakness. It's the choice to want less validation, less conflict, less noise. When you choose silence amid provocation, you're not yielding. You're conserving your essence for what truly matters. Imagine a warrior on the battlefield. Does he swing his sword wildly at every shadow? No. He waits. He observes. He strikes with precision. Silence is that disciplined pause. Seneca, advisor to Nero and a master of turbulent times, wrote in his letters, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." Over-speaking cheapens your narrative. Silence refines it. In modern psychology, this aligns with emotional intelligence. Studies from Yale. Researchers show that those who pause before responding exhibit higher self-control. They earn greater respect. Silence, then, is the mark of the emotionally sovereign, not the subdued. Why does silence feel like weakness at first? It's rooted in fear, the dread of being misunderstood or judged. You worry, if I don't speak up, they'll think I'm guilty, incompetent, or indifferent. But Stoics remind us, external opinions are beyond our control. Marcus Aurelius, ruling an empire rife with betrayal, journaled, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Choosing silence means exercising that power, refusing to let others dictate your reactions. It's a deliberate act. I hear you, but I won't dance to your tune. This shift, from reactive to intentional, transforms perceived vulnerability into unshakable fortitude. Consider historical examples where silence proved mightier than words. When Socrates faced his accusers in ancient Athens, he didn't beg or over-explain. He met their charges with composed responses, ultimately serene acceptance of his fate. Though not strictly Stoic, his influence on Epictetus is profound. Silence in the face of injustice became a hallmark of philosophical resilience. Fast forward to modern icons. Nelson Mandela, imprisoned for 27 years, emerged not with vengeful rants, but with measured words and purposeful silences. These commanded global admiration. His quiet dignity dismantled apartheid's remnants more effectively than any tirade. In Stoic terms, this is virtue in action, temperance over impulse. Now, apply this to everyday life. In a toxic workplace, when a boss unfairly criticizes you, the urge is to retort. But silence, it disarms. It says, "Your words don't define me." One subscriber shared a story. Harassed by a micromanaging superior, he stopped justifying his methods. Instead, he nodded silently, delivered results. The boss, expecting pushback, was thrown off. Respect followed. Along with autonomy, this is silence's strategy. a choice that redirects energy from defense to excellence. Seneca captured it. It is quality rather than quantity that matters. Favor words. Greater impact. Silence also builds internal strength by fostering self-reliance. When you don't explain yourself, you force introspection. Epictetus emphasized, first, learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak. But often, the deepest learning comes in not speaking at all. In quiet, you confront your impulse. Why do I feel compelled to justify? Is it ego? Insecurity? This self-examination is the Stoic path to wisdom. Modern mindfulness practices echo this. Apps like Headspace promote mindful pauses to build resilience, but Stoics pioneered it centuries ago. By choosing silence, you're not weak. You're forging an ironclad mind. Let's address the gender and cultural layers. Silence can be misinterpreted differently. In some societies, women or minorities staying quiet might be seen as submission, but Stoicism empowers reclamation. Silence becomes a tool of defiance. Think of Rosa Parks' quiet refusal to give up her seat. Not a word. Yet it sparked a revolution. Her silence wasn't weakness. It was thunderous resolve. Marcus Aurelius advised, reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears. Choose silence to reject imposed narratives. Turn it into a statement of autonomy. To make this practical, here's how to cultivate silence as a deliberate choice. Start small. In low-stakes conversations, practice pausing 3 seconds before responding. Feel the power in that gap. It's yours to control. Journal your triggers. Like Marcus Aurelius, note moments when silence felt weak. Reframe them. This was my choice to preserve peace. Role-play scenarios. Imagine criticisms. Respond with silence in your mind. Build the habit mentally first. Seek Stoic models. Read Epictetus Enchiridion daily for reminders that true freedom is internal. Measure progress. Track how often you choose silence over explanation. Celebrate the calm it brings. These steps turn silence from instinctual retreat to empowered decision. It's not about never speaking. It's about speaking on your terms. Now, tie this to silent magnetism, that viral trend capturing hearts online. Figures like Clint Eastwood in films or leaders like Satya Nadella of Microsoft exude it. They listen intently, speak sparingly, drawing others in with their gravitas. In Stoic philosophy, this magnetism stems from arete, excellence. Seneca wrote, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. Silence anchors you in the now, radiating confidence that attracts without effort. Viral TikToks of Stoic routines rack up views because people crave this quiet power in a chaotic feed. But beware the pitfalls. Silence can veer into stubbornness if not intentional. Stoics warn against excess. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, put up with being thought foolish. Sometimes speaking clarifies. The key is discernment. Ask, does this serve virtue? If not, choose silence. In relationships, this choice shines. When a partner misunderstands, instead of explaining defensively, silent reflection often leads to deeper connection. A quiet hug or thoughtful gesture speaks volumes, rebuilding trust without words. Our community shares transformations. One viewer stopped over-apologizing to friends, choosing silent presence instead. Bonds strengthened. As authenticity flourished, professionally, silence, as choice, elevates leaders. In meetings, the one who absorbs input before contributing commands attention. Research from MIT Sloan shows introverted leaders often outperform extroverts in dynamic teams. Their deliberate silences foster innovation. Embrace this. You're not weak for listening. You're wise. Ultimately, reframing silence empowers you to live stoically, focused on what you control. Marcus Aurelius reflected, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Let silence nurture those thoughts, turning potential weakness into your greatest strength." As we close this section, pause and affirm, "Silence is my choice. My power." Feel that resonance. It's the Stoic within awakening. Next, we'll explore how Stoics use stillness to clarify themselves without justification. The journey continues. Stay strong. We've reframed silence as a deliberate choice, a Stoic tool for reclaiming power. Now, let's go deeper. How do Stoics use stillness to clarify who they are without justifying themselves? In a world demanding explanations, apologias, constant self-defense, the Stoic path is revolutionary. It's about letting your actions, character, quiet presence, speak louder than words. In this section, we'll explore practical techniques to harness silence as a mirror of your true self. We'll draw from ancient wisdom, historical examples, modern applications. You'll learn to embody silent magnetism, that viral, enigmatic pull that captivates without explanation. Let's dive in. Forge this Stoic practice into your daily life. Start with the Stoic principle. Your character is your loudest voice. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Do what is necessary, whatever the reason of a social animal requires, as it requires. Live with virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, temperance. No need to explain why. When you act with integrity, your life is the proof. Verbal defenses become obsolete." Stillness isn't just silence of speech. It's quiet confidence that your choices reflect your values. The Stoics believed a life well lived speaks for itself. It cuts through the noise of external judgment. Here's a core technique. Practice deliberate pause. When you feel the urge to justify, in an argument, a critical email, a social media jab, pause for 5 seconds. Count them, silently. This isn't avoidance. It's control. Epictetus taught in his Enchiridion, there is only one way to happiness. Cease worrying about things beyond the power of our will. Pausing detaches you from controlling others' perceptions. You ask, does this deserve my response? Often, it's no. This pause is your shield. It reflects inner clarity without a word. Try this in real life. At a family gathering, or not. Questions your career. Why no? Stable job. The instinct is to explain your entrepreneurial dreams. Instead, pause. Smile. Say, I'm pursuing what fulfills me. Let silence do the rest. This isn't coldness. It's clarity. Your calm refusal to over-explain signals. Confidence, communication psychology. Like Stanford studies, shows brief responses with silence project 30% more authority than lengthy justifications. Your stillness becomes magnetic. It draws respect effortlessly. Next, embrace selective speech. Seneca advised in his letters, speak, and speak well. When you have something worth saying, choose words aligned with purpose, not every provocation. Filter responses through one question. Does this advance virtue? If criticized at work for missing a deadline, skip excuses. I was swamped. The system crashed. Try. I missed the mark. It won't happen again. Then, deliver. Your actions clarify your commitment better than words. This mirrors silent magnetism. Influencers who post sparingly but powerfully amplify their impact. Their minimalism resonates. Historical examples show this. Marcus Aurelius faced rebellion. Plagias imperor. He didn't justify every decision publicly. His meditations, written privately, reveal a man clarifying values through reflection, not defense. He wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Apply this to your digital presence. Don't respond to every comment on your posts. Curate content reflecting your values. A thoughtful post about your goals outshines defensive replies. Another technique, cultivate inner dialogue through journaling. Marcus Aurelius wrestled doubts in his journal, not with others. Nightly, write one page about a moment you felt compelled to justify. Ask, why did I feel that need? What virtue could I have practiced? If you argued with a friend, note the urge to defend your view. Reframe, I could have listened more. Practice temperance. This clarity builds resolve to stay silent next time. A 2020 study in the Journal of Positive Psychology found journaling boosts self-awareness by 25%. It reduces reactive behaviors. Your stillness becomes a canvas for self-understanding. What if silence feels like suppression? In cultures or workplaces expecting you to speak up, quiet can seem like dodging responsibility. Stoicism offers a fix: redirect energy. Epictetus said, "You become what you give your attention to." When tempted to explain, channel that into action. If a colleague questions your work ethic, don't list efforts. Deliver exceptional results quietly. A subscriber stopped defending her late hours to skeptical coworkers. She focused on output, earned a promotion. No justification needed. Her silence spoke. Her work roared. Let outcomes define you. Seneca wrote, "A good man dyes events with his own color." Your actions, not explanations, shape perceptions. In negotiations, state terms clearly. Pause. A 2023 Journal of Applied Psychology study found strategic silence secures 15% better outcomes. Silence shifts power. Others fill the void. This is silent magnetism. Calm presence commands attention. In relationships, stillness clarifies intent. When a partner misinterprets you, over-explaining fractures trust. Instead of, "Work's been crazy. I'm stressed," offer a quiet gesture, a note, a touch, undivided attention. A community member stopped justifying his quiet nature to his spouse. He planned a thoughtful date night. Silence rebuilt connection. Seneca's wisdom fits. Words are the shadow of deeds. Let deeds cast light. Professionally, stillness highlights expertise. In presentations, don't fill gaps with words. Pause after key points. Let ideas breathe. TED's curation team notes, speakers using strategic pauses are rated 20% more impactful. Steve Jobs' keynotes prove it. Silences made words resonate. Emulate this. Speak with purpose. Let silence amplify your message. Here's a 5-step Stoic plan to harness stillness. 1. Pause before responding. Count to 5. Ask if words align with values. 2. Filter speech through virtue. Does this advance wisdom, courage, justice? If not, stay silent. 3. Journal nightly. Reflect on justification moments. Reframe with Stoic clarity. 4. Act. Don't explain. Let results, a project, gesture, choice define you. 5. Practice selective presence. Listen twice as much as you speak. These steps build stillness that clarifies who you are. No justification needed. Tying to silent magnetism. Look at Keanu Reeves or Stoic influencers. They don't explain kindness or resilience. They live it. Their quiet presence draws millions. In Stoic terms, this is arete, excellence. Epictetus urged, don't talk about your philosophy, embody it. Your stillness is a beacon. It attracts those valuing substance over noise. Beware. Silence must be intentional, not avoidance. Stoics warn against apathy. Seneca cautioned, you must either imitate or loathe the world. Choose silence to rise above, not hide. If clarity needs words, use them sparingly, rooted in truth. Notice the shift as you practice. Silence clarifies values, strengthens resolve, radiates power. A viewer faced a critical boss with calm silence. Her next project spoke for her. Arrays followed. Reflect. Where can you use stillness to clarify your truth? Commit to one technique this week. Feel the power of living, not explaining your values. Next, we'll wrap up with a call to action. Tie silence to lasting Stoic strength. Your journey unfolds. Stay resolute. As we reach the end of this deep dive into the power of silence through a Stoic lens, let's bring it all together. We've uncovered how over-explaining drains your value, reframed silence as a bold choice, not weakness, and explored practical ways to use stillness to reveal your true self without justification. At its core, this isn't about saying less. It's about living more intentionally, reclaiming the quiet authority that ancient Stoics mastered amid chaos. In a world screaming for attention, your silence becomes a roar of self-mastery. Today, we'll summarize the key lessons, inspiration, and show why embracing this Stoic principle can transform your life. You'll gain unbreakable resilience and magnetic presence. Let's solidify this wisdom. Make silence your greatest ally. Start with the pitfalls we uncovered. Over-explaining weakens you in everyday moments. Workplace criticisms, relationship arguments, social media battles, internal excuses, justifying signals desperation. It hands your power to others. Epictetus warned, it's not things that upset us, but our judgments about them. Recognizing these traps is freeing. You stop feeding the cycle. Instead of diluting your worth with words, you preserve it through restraint. This awareness shifts you from reactive defender to quiet observer. You save energy for what truly matters. Then, we shattered the myth that silence equals frailty. It's not retreat. It's a deliberate stand, rooted in inner strength. Marcus Aurelius, journaling under an empire's weight, wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Silence deepens your thoughts, untainted by external noise." We saw this in Socrates and Mandela. Their quiet resolve moved mountains. In your life, it means enduring misunderstandings without crumbling, turning vulnerability into fortitude. This is the foundation of silent magnetism, an aura that draws others in through poised presence, not verbosity. We also explored Stoic techniques for using stillness to clarify your essence, deliberate pausing, selective speech, journaling for introspection, letting actions speak. These aren't passive, they're active tools forging clarity. Seneca's insight rings true. True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future. By embodying virtue without explanation, your life becomes the testimony. In negotiations, relationships, or personal growth, stillness amplifies authenticity. It creates that viral pull where people wonder about your depths, not hear them spelled out. Imagine weaving these into your daily life. Picture navigating challenges with calm resolve, not frantic words. A colleague doubts your idea. Pause, nod, deliver excellence. A friend misjudges your intentions. Offer a silent gesture. Let time reveal truth. Online trolls attack. Scroll past. Redirect energy to your passions. This isn't fantasy. It's the Stoic reality awaiting you. Our community proves it. Subscribers adopting these practices report less stress, deeper connections, unexpected opportunities. One silenced a tense negotiation. Sealing a deal words would have derailed. Another found peace in family dynamics by dropping justifications. These aren't outliers. They're the outcome of Stoic living. Knowledge alone isn't enough. Action builds transformation. Here's your call to arms. Start small. Start today. Pick one situation this week where you over-explain. A recurring argument. A social media habit. Choose silence instead. Pause. Reflect. Act with virtue. Journal it. How did it feel? How did others respond? What power did you reclaim? Epictetus said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond." Make silence your response. Watch your world shift. If it feels uncomfortable, lean in. That's growth. Stoicism isn't about comfort. It's about excellence amid discomfort. Build a routine around stillness. Start mornings with 5 minutes of quiet reflection. Contemplate a Stoic quote, like Seneca's. "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." End days reviewing where silence served you. Share your experiences in the comments. How has silence changed your interactions? Your story could inspire others. For more, dive into the Stoic texts we referenced. Marcus Aurelius's Meditations for Daily Wisdom. Epictetus's Enchiridion for practical guidance. Seneca's Letters for life-affirming insights. These aren't relics. They're blueprints for modern resilience. Why does this matter now? In our era of endless notifications, polarizing debates, performative oversharing, silence is rebellion. It's the antidote to burnout. The key to authentic magnetism. Trends like silent magnetism aren't fleeting. They're echoes of Stoic truth. By choosing this path, you don't just survive the noise. You transcend it. You become the calm in the storm, the figure others admire for quiet command. Marcus Aurelius reflected, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." Silence sharpens that thinking. It unlocks happiness through self-mastery. If this sparks a desire for more control, deeper peace, genuine power, carry it forward. Revisit this video when doubt creeps in. Share it with someone trapped in the explanation cycle. You might free them too. LABE Stoic is here for you. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit the bell for notifications. Join our community of modern Stoics building unbreakable lives. In closing, honor the wisdom that started it all. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Go forth. Embody silence. Let it reclaim your power. Clarify your path. Magnetize your world. You've got this. The Stoic within you is ready. Until next time, stay silent. Stay strong. The wise speak because they have something to say. Fools because they have to say something." Plato.